Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen wassalatu wassalamu ala ashrafil anbiya'i wal mursaleen Sayyidina Maulana Muhammadin sallallahu alayhi wa sallam wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'een amma ba'd. Have you ever wondered why we are so super excited during Ramadan? It's because we are so busy doing the things that Allah loves, the things that He has created us for, not the things that we give priority to outside of Ramadan. Throughout the other 11 months, most of us waste too much of time on things that are generally mubah, permissible but not desirable. These include watching news, reading newspapers, playing certain sports, and of course being entertained on social media. These things have no benefits during the blessed months of Ramadan. In this brief period of virtuous days and nights, we are to engage in righteous deeds that Allah and His Messenger have legislated for us. And as mentioned in the previous audio, Ramadan has been given to us to increase our religious awareness and polish our character. Obviously, God consciousness and tranquility cannot be attained through finding ways to kill the time in vain deeds while waiting for each fasting day of Ramadan to end. And obviously, if our time should not be squandered on empty or pointless activities, then it becomes much more worse to engage in things that we have been specifically warned against by the Quran and Sunnah. So, O Muslims, pay rapt attention. Do not make Ramadan an occasion for eating and drinking and overload your stomach at the time of suhoor and iftar. That will totally engulf you into laziness and discomfort, especially during the prayer that follows. Prayer is indeed a physical act of worship that entails full consciousness of Allah, but it would be difficult to focus under this condition. Besides, the kind of food people consume triggers thirst and drowsiness throughout the fasting hours of the day, in addition to leaving them foggy-brained and sluggish. But apart from too much eating being injurious to health, the purpose of fasting is not to gobble down lots of food and drink like a land that would welcome rain after a long period of drought. Ramadan is not a concession for being excessive or glutton. The hadith of the Prophet ﷺ is enforced at all times. مَا مَلَأَ آدَمِيٌّ وِعَاءً شَرًّا مِّن بَطْنِ حَسْبُ الْآدَمِيِّ لُقَيْمَاتٌ يُقِمْنَ صُلْبًا فَإِنْ غَلَبَتِ الْآدَمِيَّ نَفْسُهُ فَثُلُثٌ لِلطَّعَامِ وَثُلُثٌ لِلشَّرَابِ وَثُلُثٌ لِنَفَسٍ. The son of Adam cannot fill a vessel worse than his stomach, as it is enough for him to take a few bites to straighten his back. If he cannot do that, then he may fill it with a third of his food, a third of his drink, and a third of his breath. Consequently, when Muslims overload their stomach with all kinds of foods, the masjids become fumed up with different flavors of unpleasant smells that emanate from all the burping during the prayer. Fact of the matter, the house of Allah of all places is not one where worshippers are expected to feel disgust or harm by irritating scent, but unfortunately, it's the sad reality, more so during Ramadan. Preparing a lot of different types of food also distracts our womenfolk from doing their share of ibadah. Such behavior conveys the impression that taqwa implies overly taking care of loved ones, while not sparing favorable time for reciting the Quran, increasing in supplication and zikr, along with seeking knowledge combined with other righteous deeds during this blessed month of Ramadan. Isn't this what each day mainly focuses on so as to reap its benefits? But unfortunately, this isn't always the case with everyone, and this is why many of our women in the kitchen end up more exhausted than focused. It is also an undeniable fact that one of the major concerns about how Muslims observe Ramadan is the high level of overconsumption and waste that takes place during the blessed days, a reality which is completely antithetical to our religion. A hungry body can mean a busy brain. This is why most of us, when experiencing the pangs of hunger during fasting, our mind stimulates desires to eat everything and all at once. But once we break our fast, that burning desire evaporates. In fact, we are already full once we see all the food on display, yet we still end up cooking or buying in excess. Never mind they have to go on waste, despite the Quran commands us not to go overboard on wasting on anything. وَكُلُوا وَاشْرَبُوا وَلَا تُسْرِفُوا إِنَّهُ لَا يُحِبُّ الْمُسْرِفِينَ. And eat and drink, but waste not by extravagance. Certainly Allah does not love those who waste. The verse is very crucial for all of us at this special time when we are so easily carried away due to the excessive tendencies that plays upon all of us. The verse serves as a reminder to keep within measures and proper boundaries for those who have grown unaccustomed to knowing when and where how to draw the line between moderation and extremism. In fact, Ramadan is an opportunity for observant Muslims to learn to be economical and moderate, not being overindulgent in food as if they want to make up for what they have missed during the day of fasting. Again, the Quran conquers its negative desire from its very root, as it commands the believers not to go overboard in spending. وَلَا تُبَذِّرْ تَبْذِيرًا إِنَّ الْمُبَذِّرِينَ كَانُوا إِخْوَانَ الشَّيَاطِينِ وَكَانَ الشَّيْطَانُ لِرَبِّهِ كَفُورًا. And do not squander wastefully. Indeed, the wasteful are the brothers of the devil, and Shaitan is ungrateful to his Lord. As this verse makes it very clear, the wasters are associated with the devils. And according to the Islamic principle, whenever an action is linked to the outcast, such a sin is regarded as major. On an individual level, each one of us needs to understand this point carefully, because the drive to satisfy gluttony is one of those things that have decreased the quality of faith for most people on this planet. The overwhelmingness of all that has to be done in accordance to our faith is feeling more kindly to one another and reaching out in love to help those less unfortunate. This is another whole topic that has to be dealt with under increasing generosity in Ramadan. But the long and short of what has been said thus far is, Ramadan is a month to be impregnated with goodness, not for overcooking and overeating and then dragging some extra kilo from port to port. Remember, while we fast from sunrise to sunset, there are our Muslims in poverty-stricken countries who fast from the start of the year to the end of the year. Allahumma aslih ahwal al-muslimin fi kulli makan.